Outlook is one of the productivity applications where you can use Microsoft Copilot in the application window. In this video, let's see how to triage your inbox, generate email drafts with Copilot, or get summaries of your email messages. I'm Nick, and this is video 13 out of 14 in my training course on using Copilot in a company or a similar organization. You can find links to the other videos in the description. So to start, I'm going to launch Outlook. And like in many other applications, there is a Copilot button in the top right. I want to start there and open the Copilot panel, which shows us a familiar Copilot chat interface. If you do not have the full Microsoft 365 Copilot subscription, then this panel is the only Copilot feature you'll see in Outlook. If you do have the upgraded subscription, then you will see the Work Web toggle switch at the top of the panel. So if you have that switch, it also means that you'll be able to use all of the other Copilot features that we'll see in this video. Starting with this, if you switch to the work mode, then Copilot can access private data in your organization, including your email. With the work mode set, you can do a lot of email triage work right here. So I'll tell Copilot, you are my personal office assistant. I need you to review my email for the last 2 months and give me an overview of the topics that were discussed. I need to see topics organized by priority, group them by high, medium, and low priority. After each grouping, give me a list of messages that I've not responded to or I may need to follow up on. Highlight anything that includes, and I want Copilot to put special emphasis on a specific person. So I'll type the / key, then start typing in a person's name, which will search my company directory. It found that person, so I can select him, and he has been identified in this prompt specifically. Now, this is kind of a long prompt. You could use a shorter prompt, but if you've watched the other videos in this course, I hope you've identified some prompt engineering components that I've worked in here. I've given Copilot a role, specific instructions, and context. So let's see what we get. This is a pretty powerful way to triage my inbox. I have follow-up actions as well as notes related to the specific person I wanted to highlight. Each of the citations in this response is a link directly to an email message in Outlook. So this works in Outlook, but the Copilot panel is a bit small. If you prefer, everything that we've done so far will also work in the standalone Copilot app or website. And if a prompt like this is useful to you, you can use the scheduled prompts feature to repeat it, maybe every week or every month. Now, let's see some features that will not work on the main Copilot website. These are things that you will need to do inside of Outlook. For example, you can also open up specific messages or threads and then ask Copilot for help. So I'll open this thread discussing our plans for our Volunteer Day event. And now I can make a request in the Copilot panel that refers to this message. So I'll start a new chat, and then I'll tell Copilot to refer to the, and then I'll type the / key and search for our company's social media manual. So in addition to the email thread I have open, I'm also going to refer to information from this document. Continuing, I'll ask Copilot, what sort of marketing announcement should we make on social media about Volunteer Day? I'll send this prompt, and it gives me some strategies and drafts of social media posts that I can use to promote the event that we discussed in this email, which are compliant with my company's social media guidelines. So the Copilot panel inside of Outlook can help with requests related to a specific message. Next, I'll click the New Chat button to reset. Then I'll just close the Copilot panel. And I'll open this email thread where we discussed the Q1 launch readiness. There are several messages and replies in this thread. There's a Summarize button above the email thread, or if you open the menu next to the Copilot button, there's a Summarize option there as well. I'm going to click the Summarize button at the top of this thread, and it gives me a full summary. This will work with any email message, but it's most useful for long threads with lots of replies. For now, I'll just click the X to close the summary. And next, since Copilot is able to write drafts of text, it can help us draft new messages or replies to messages. You could open the menu next to the Copilot button, and there's an option there to draft a reply, or you can use one of the suggested replies that appear below a message, or click the Reply or Reply All button on a message. And in the email body, there is a Write with Copilot button. When you click that, you get a prompt field where you can describe the draft you want, or you can choose one of the suggested prompts here. I'll tell Copilot to draft a response that congratulates everybody on the good work they've done, refer to specific achievements listed in this email thread, use a friendly but professional tone, and write the response in one concise paragraph. Sometimes it's easier to describe your priorities to Copilot, then let Copilot give you a draft that you can use as a starting point for your response. And here's that draft. I can choose to keep it, discard it, or give Copilot instructions for how to revise it. I'll choose to keep it. So you can ask Copilot to write a draft for you, or Copilot can help you revise a draft that you've written. Of course, Copilot wrote this draft, but for the moment, let's imagine that I wrote it. As long as your cursor is in the paragraph of text, you can click the Write with Copilot button on the left, and there are various options to make this text longer, shorter, or change the tone. Or you can choose Get Coaching. You can choose that here, or open the menu next to the Copilot button and choose Coaching there. This gives you a detailed analysis of the draft organized in categories like tone, reader sentiment, and clarity. You can read through all of these suggestions to help you decide if you want to make some changes. So Copilot can review important drafts and point out potential problems before you send them. There is an option here to apply all suggestions at once, but I don't think that all of the suggestions will fit every scenario, so it's best to take them one at a time. For now, I'll dismiss this and I won't make any changes. And finally, there's one more important option in Copilot settings. You could open the menu next to the Copilot button and choose Settings there, or you could click the gear button at the top of the Outlook interface, then go to the Copilot section here in Settings. And you can completely disable Copilot here if you want, but more importantly, you could go over to Draft Instructions. It's good to tell Copilot the length, style, and tone you want when you ask it to write a draft reply. But what if you want the exact same length, style, or tone for every message you write? In my case, I set these instructions telling Copilot to use a friendly but professional tone, draft responses in a single concise paragraph, and include thank you somewhere in the message. So whenever I ask Copilot to write a draft, I can skip those instructions or components and go straight to the main request. And this only applies to drafts in Outlook, but it can be a big time saver. I hope you'll use some of these techniques and use Copilot to triage your inbox, get insights about your messages, or help you write drafts in Outlook. Remember, this video is part of a full training course. This is video 13 out of 14. The links to the other videos are in the description, or you can access the playlist on this channel.